friends, how's it going? It's me, Betty Jean. Today I'm going to be doing a video sharing with you my favorite eyeshadows to utilize as highlights for the face. But before we get into that, we actually have a sponsor, so I'm going to chat a little bit about that with you guys. Today's video is sponsored by the brand Ana Luisa. They are a fine jewelry company that basically their main premise is the fact that they use recycled materials to make their jewelry, helping be a more sustainable brand, and that means so much to me. I'm always trying to find things in my day-to-day life that help me be more sustainable to help with the world that we live on. We only get one planet, so we need to do what we can to help better it, you know what I mean? But because they use 100% recycled gold and sterling silver, they are not contributing to waste the same way traditional jewelry companies do. And I think that's amazing. It means so much to me. That was like my favorite thing when I heard about this brand. They sent over 3 pieces for me. I got to pick like 10 pieces and they sent 3, and they actually sent me my top 3, and I was so excited. I'm gonna have close-ups as well as the names written on the screen because I don't want to butcher the names of these pieces, but I'm gonna have close-ups and names while I chat about these with you. I went with this ring because it actually reminds me a lot of my husband's wedding band. It's really cool. His band is actually black on the outside with rose gold on the inside. This one's obviously gold and black and it's reversed, but I thought it was really cool. It's adjustable, so it's not going to be super tight on my finger. I can kind of put it on and it's just comfortable. I really like wearing this. I've been wearing this literally every day since I got it, and I'm just obsessed with it. I think it's so pretty and it goes with absolutely everything. I love it. I'm very pleased with this piece. The necklaces I chose, this first one is this chunky gold chain that I fell in love with when I saw it on the website. It has this cute little charm in the middle that says "Be You" that you can't really see until you're up close, but I just think that's such a cute little detail and I just love it. It's almost like a choker, which you know chokers are my #1 preference with necklaces. It's like kind of in between a choker and just a really short necklace, and I just think it's really pretty. I've actually been wearing this one a lot as well because I just feel like it goes with everything. I'm a gold lover. I like gold and rose gold. It's my favorite, and I just think this piece is lovely. This last piece is this kind of like honeycomb looking geometric kind of vibe. I'm really bad with my words, but I thought this one was really cool. I thought it would go with a lot of things. Sometimes I do opt for a regular necklace, like when I'm wearing a turtleneck, or in this case sometimes I like to layer my necklaces. I think that's a really cool way to style them, but both of these I'm going to get a lot of use out of, and they're really pretty and I feel really good wearing them and looking at them. I just think they're stunning, and I've already gotten compliments in my real life when I wear them to work. I'm really pleased with these. They keep their price point pretty fair as well, as opposed to traditional jewelry companies. Their jewelry starts at $49 and goes up from there, but they have a wide variety of earrings, necklaces, bracelets, rings. I think I covered everything, but I will have a link to their site down below as well as my discount code. It is ButeBean10 if you want to save some money. No pressure, but if you're interested in some nice, fine, sustainable jewelry, then that link is for you. Thank you so much, Ana Luisa, for sponsoring this video. I'm super excited about these pieces and I'm very excited about working with you. All right, now that that is out of the way, let's jump into these eyeshadows. So I actually wasn't going to make this video at all. I mentioned in my eyeshadows as blushes video that I don't know, I just wasn't interested in making this video because to me it was just use a light eyeshadow. It wasn't that deep, but a lot of you requested it anyways, and as I was going through my palettes today trying to pick eyeshadows that I would use as highlights, or ones that I have, or my favorites, or whatever, what have you, I realized I actually have some really unique eyeshadows that give a really cool effect on the cheek, and now I'm really excited to share them with you. I'm glad you guys convinced me to do this. I'm not going in any particular order. I just have a pile of palettes right here, and we're just gonna go through them. The first one on top is from the Colourpop Sweet Talk palette. This shade Side to Side right here, it's one of their Super Shock formulas. It's stunning on the cheeks. It's so bright and reflective. Well, actually I wouldn't say it's bright, but it's just like really shiny and wet and reflective. It's almost too deep for my skin tone, but it just kind of like matches my skin tone and adds a wet look. And sometimes I really like that dewy wet finish. On anyone deeper than me, I think this would be a really pretty, more shiny highlight, but just look at that wetness. We love wet highlights here in this household. Next, I have a couple from Alter Ego. This is from the Goddess palette. Palette looks like that. I'm gonna take the shade Freya. This one is really, really pretty. It's like a It's like a white gold kind of color. I don't know if you can see that right underneath. It blends in a lot with the one right above it. They're both just very wet and shiny. This one's definitely more like a white gold color. It adds a little more reflect on my cheeks than the one prior. Next, dipping into the Alter Ego Temptress palette. This shade here, Seduction, is super lovely. This one is really, really pretty. It's just a really nice, soft, champagne-y kind of shade right here. It adds a really nice, soft, highlighted pink glow, and it's just really cute. I feel like I'm going to repeat myself a lot in this video because I can only describe these so many ways. I struggled with that in my blush video as well. In the Give Me Glow Vintage Rose palette, this one right here called Blossom is lovely. It's so, I don't know, it's similar to the one I just showed you, but this one's just a little bit even more metallic and reflective, which makes sense because Give Me Glow shadows are just metallic and reflective. This is another one that's like borderline too deep for my skin tone. I have to use a lighter hand, and sometimes I pair it with something lighter when I do use this, but it's really pretty. It adds nice shine, and I'm about a shiny highlight. Give me all the glitter, give me all the shine, give me all the reflection, please. Let's jump into some Juvia's Place palettes. This first one is The Deuce right here, and I actually have two to share with you. I have Tarte and Puffs. I'm gonna swatch them both. Tarte is right here, and right below it is Puffs. Tarte has more of that purple duochrome kind of feel, which I know isn't everyone's cup of tea, but I like weird highlights. And Puffs is a really pretty pink highlight. I have to use, again, a light hand with this one because if I use too much, it layers a lot like a pigmented eyeshadow, and then it's too pink and just sits on my face. But if I use a light hand, it just adds a nice dusting of pink across the cheekbones. Dipping into the Tribe palette from Juvia's Place again, taking Cocoa right here. This is a really pretty gold reflective one. It's so lovely. Again, I use a light hand with this because if not, it looks too yellow on my pale skin, but just look how lovely and shiny that is. Oh, I love it. I really like wearing this one if I was to do like a really warm, yummy, bronzy look, which isn't my go-to. You guys know I'm a color lover, says someone who looks like a neutral Nelly today, but it's just a really stunning shade. And now, same brand, Juvia's Place, dipping into the Sahara 2. I'm going to be taking Aziza. I hope I'm saying that correctly. This is also a very gold-based one, but this one's just a little bit lighter, and also just a different kind of tone of gold. You'll see what I mean. I don't know, from far away they look really similar. This one's more of a yellow gold, this one's more of a, like just a regular gold. But same kind of deal. I use a lighter hand with this one because it could be too dark otherwise, which, I mean, they are eyeshadows. They're meant to be more pigmented than like a face highlight, so you kind of have to use a light hand with all of these. But again, just a really pretty gold-based highlight. I'm loving all this shine going on. And last one for Juvia's Place, I'm dipping into, what are you called? The Saharan palette. I'm gonna take Iman right here. And this is just a really pretty white highlight. This one's very bright, very white, and I need to actually extend this swatch. I'm so bad at swatching on camera because I never do it. But it's just a really pretty white highlight. It's good for those icy days, you know what I mean? I'm pale, so I can wear a very icy, bright white highlight, and this is a very good one for that. I have two palettes from Jeffree Star here. First, the Alien palette, which I heard is getting discontinued, and I'm actually really kind of annoyed by that because this is the best one out of all the palettes in my opinion. But Pluto is a really cute shade. It's again kind of a white with a gold reflect, but this gold's a lot more subdued. I feel like the white kind of creaminess shows through a lot more. It doesn't just look like straight gold like these do. Oh, it's so pretty. It has a little bit of a champagne to it, almost a borderline little bit of a pink. It's really, really lovely. And next is the Blue Blood palette. This next one might be one of my favorite eyeshadows to utilize as a highlight. It's Cullinan at the top. This is such a good face highlight, inner corner highlight. It's just so white without it being like too frosty or anything like that. It's down here at the bottom. It's just reflective and lovely. And goodness gracious, I'm bad at swatching on camera. Oh, do you see how just bright that is? If this one just came out in a big pan just as this eyeshadow in a big pan as like a highlight, that would be genius. For anyone who wants that color but doesn't want to spend like $60 on a palette, this is the way to go. It would be in a perfect world at least. Now in the Smoky Glow palette, I have two to share with you. Group Chat is one of my favorite highlights of all time currently. It just works so lovely, and Friends is such a cute, more peachy one. I'm gonna swatch both of those. We're actually gonna transition to my hand here. so that we can see better. But there's group chat. It's just the prettiest reflective pink. I feel like that pink undertone doesn't show up so overly bad that you just look like you have pink splotched on your cheeks, but it just meshes with your blush. It just looks so pretty. And then Friends is a little bit more peachy, but that one also just looks really reflective. It's right next to it. They both have like such a good shine, so it's hard to tell them apart. But this one's more of like a peachy pink. This one's more of a pink pink, if that makes sense. Looking into my Certify Affinity 2 palette, I'm going to take this one down here. I don't want to butcher the name, so I'm not going to say it. But this is a really pretty white-blue duochrome. It's one of my favorite inner corner highlights I own, but it's also a beautiful face highlight if you like a blue shift in your highlight. It's so pretty. Dipping into the Sugar Pill Capsule Collection Pink Edition, this shade right here called Supernova is another really pretty like duochromy, purpley kind of highlight. It's not like a typical highlight at all. Like it's definitely like gonna look like a pinky purple color on your cheekbones, but the days you're feeling a little more ethereal, whimsical, all that jazz, this is where we're at. The Alma palette from Amy Hearts Beauty and Amy Loves Makeup, there are 3 shades she specifically put in there to be inner corner highlights, but they also make great face highlights. I know that this palette isn't available anymore and it's not coming back, but I still wanted to share these with you. I just went in the order from top row, middle row, bottom row, but they're really pretty duochromes. This one's a sheer purple, this one's a sheer pink, and this one's a sheer blue, and they're just so lovely. I love this pink one so much. Oh, look how fun my hand looks. I'm gonna have to switch to the back of my hand for the rest of these. Only a few more to go. We're busting through it. Next, I have the Shroud Cosmetics Divinity palette, and I think this one's getting discontinued, which breaks my heart. I really hope she sells these as singles because they're beautiful shades, especially like all of them. I love all of these shades. Use my code BEAUTBEAN if you want to buy this for 10% off. But Heather is such a lovely shade. Every time I pick up this palette to use it, I have to use this shade as my highlight. It looks very pigmented on my hand. I feel like it looks very peach, like you can kind of see that dark shadow. But with a light hand, it just blends to a really pretty soft white peach color. It's really lovely. It's very shiny, and I really like it. I have 2 palettes from Ace Beauté. First is the Classical Paradise. Barley is so, so lovely. I use this a lot every time I pick this palette up. It's a good one. And again, this one looks very like pigmented on my hand, I feel like, but do you see how bright the shine is? Like if I'm in the shadow, it's a bit of a stripe, but again, light hand, but you still get that shine. Like, look how shiny that is. I think that's the shiniest one out of all of them so far. Love Barley. It's so good. I just love this palette. Ugh, making me crave October. Ace Beauté Blossom Passion. The shade Peony is so cute. Again, light hand because this will look pink if you use like too much of it. But if you use a light hand, look how shiny that is. I love Ace Beauté's shadow formula. I truly can't understand why people don't like it. It's so good and the shimmers are so bright. But again, light hand, and you just get a beautiful peach highlight. It's so cute for spring and summer. Oh man, I love it. I freaking love Ace Beauté. I need to play with these palettes again. I'm probably gonna film some IGTV videos with them. And last but not least, we're dipping into my Kaleidos Electric Turquoise palette. This shade here called Shockwave is so pretty. This one's like a sheer topper. It's so unique and beautiful. And this works so good on top of anything, and it also works good by itself. It has the prettiest gleam and glimmer to it. I love this one. I love the way my hand looks right now. But yeah, those were my palettes, or eyeshadows I should say, that I like to also utilize as... No, wait, I'm saying it all backwards. The eyeshadows I like to utilize as highlights. There we go. Nailed it. I would love to know if you do any, like, do you use any of these shadows as highlights that I mentioned today? I would love to know what your favorite shadows to use as highlight that maybe I didn't mention. Is there anything that you know that I have in my collection that I'm not using as a highlight and maybe I should? I would love to hear what you have to say, especially those of you with deeper skin tones, because you have different options than I do. I would love to hear like which shadows you like to utilize as highlights. I think it's really fun to kind of use makeup in a multi-purpose kind of way. And it just kind of opens your collection up to even more things. Like, yeah, maybe I have 30 highlights, but then you add all these and now I have like 60 highlights. It's a never-ending cycle and it's a lot of fun. I just like being creative and having fun with my makeup. Thank you again, Ana Luisa, for sponsoring this video. I'm very excited about it. If you made it to the end of this video, why don't you leave me some star or sparkle emojis because we are glowing up in here. And if you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you're not already, please hop over to my Instagram. It's BeautBean. Follow me there. I post every single day. And don't forget to subscribe. I'm posting most days here as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Okay, bye.